Hey everyone, it's Bill. I'll get back to doing some darts predictions now that the Toronto Maple Leafs have left me where they've left me for the last 18 years, in early or not in the playoffs or an early first round exit. That's what the Leafs do to me. So let's get back into some darts, shall we? Now I have been putting some bets down on darts, and I actually been doing really well in the European Tour. Premier League, I'm terrible. But in the, and by the way, Premier League, I'm just bored to death. I guess there's one good game next week. Joe Kellen, who's gotten 4 points for free because of pullouts, and Peter Wright in a one game to see who gets the 4th spot. Otherwise, there's just, I'll be honest, Premier League has been quite boring, to be honest. I don't like the setup. I complained about it at the beginning. I know they're going to try to force feed it and tell us how great it is. That's what PDC is going to do. They're not going to admit that it's terrible, but the fact is it's boring. Same players are going to play. So, like Joe Cullen and Peter Wright play today, they're going to play next week. And if Joe Cullen wins, he's going to play Johnny Clayton, who he played last week. And Michael Van Gerwen's playing Michael Smith, who he played this week. Anyways, let's get into the European Darts Grand Prix. So I've been doing really good on the European Tour, and it's been on the parlays. So I'm going to give you my predictions. There's 15 games. I believe Eddie Lovely gets a bye into the second round. I believe Gerwin Price has pulled out, and they promoted Martin Schindler, who's been playing really, really well, into a seed. And so I'll just go through the games here, and you know what I think the score is going to be. First game up is Andrew Gilding against John Michael. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of both these players. They're not. Gilding's been playing really well, so I go to the stats here. It's not even, if you look at the stats, this is not a matchup. So again, I looked at the odds. If you want to take Gilding, he's not getting good return. I was hoping for something like maybe a -200, but I think the last time I checked, and I'll check right now, I believe it was about -335 for Gilding. And just to me, that's just not enough. -334. That's not enough to warrant a bet, but I do like Gilding in this one to win 6-2. Next game up is going to be part of one of my parlays, where I'm actually picking a player who's got the long odds, but I think has a really good shot. Neil Zahneveld against Matters Rasma. Again, Matters Rasma, he's really, so again, I'm going to get into a video of all my stats, and I've kept them all. Matters Rasma is one of the biggest discrepancy between how much money he's won and what his actual stats say. Kind of points to the fact that he's been a little bit lucky. Now, Neil Zahneveld did not have good form over a couple weeks here, but if you take a look at his stats for the year, they're really, really good. So, I know, Rasma can show up, and he did. He fired a 109 average in one of these European tours. I don't know. I'm just liking Neil Zahneveld in this one, so he will be part of one of my parlays, and that's kind of the risky parlay. But Neil Zahneveld to win 6-4. Next game up, Ryan Joyce, Adam Gallas. Again, I'm taking a look at the odds. I was hoping to get a little bit better. It's -163 for Joyce. Gallas +130. I like Joyce, but I don't like Joyce enough to be doing a -163 on him. So I'm going to take Joyce to win 6-4. Next game up, man, this could be a tough one to watch. Mickey Mansell against Radek Zagensky. If you take a look at the stats, it's a no contest. It's Mickey Mansell. I know Mickey Mansell hasn't won a lot of games, which is crazy because his stats are pretty good. And he gave Michael Van Gerwen a hell of a run last week. Yeah, but if you look at the stats, it's Mickey Mansell in a landslide. So I'm going to take Mickey Mansell in this one 6-4. Next game up, Martin Lukeman against Stefan Belmont. Stefan Belmont was in the tournament before. He's had tough draws. Dave Chisnell, and now he's going to get Martin Lukeman, who's in good form. And again, last week had a great first-round game. I think he'll have another great first-round game. Again, Lukeman is getting -275. It's not enough for me to put any. I'm not that confident in Martin Lukeman, who's a guy who's, as I'll get into my video, he might lose his card. He's definitely doing a lot to get in the 64. He might even qualify for the match play in the Grand Prix, which is going to get him some money. He's definitely going to be in the Players' Championship. He's definitely going to be in the European Tour Championship, so he might be able to save his card. But at the beginning of the year, I mean, he's still not safe on a card here. So that kind of shows you that player, but he's really, really been in form. So I'm going to take Martin Lukeman to win this one 6-4. Next game up is going to be part of my other parlay where I think I'm getting the better player. Ryan Meikle against Ron Muellenkamp. Now, I know Ron Muellenkamp is in Germany, and this is in Germany, so Meikle's going to get the booze. I get all that. The thing that you see about Muellenkamp hits some big scores, so I see that in the stats. He's definitely one of the bigger 180 hitters on the tour. If I take a look at his stats, he's nearly averaging a 180 every third leg, where Meikle's around the one every 5 legs, one every 4 legs. But if I take a look at the doubles percentage, that's where Meikle's got the better double percentage. So again, I weigh it. I like the odds. Michael's getting 110, and they're both getting 110, and I think the better player is Meikle. So I'm going to take Ryan Meikle in this one to win 6-3. And the last game up, I really want to take it. I do. Lucas Venig against Joe Merton. Now, Joe Merton on the European Tour is hit and miss, and there's a lot more misses than there's hits. But he's a solid player. And I do I'm going to pick Venig to win it. And Venig's getting plus 175, but I like that to be a little higher for me to take it. Again, German crowd. If anyone's seen Joe Merton play, he can be affected by crowds, at least what I've seen. So I think he is one that can be affected by it. I'm going to take Venig to win that one 6-4, but he won't be part of my parlays. And then we get into the afternoon session, or the night session, afternoon session here in North America. Yellow Clawson against Kellen Ritz. Again, I've seen Kellen Ritz throw absolute trash on the European Tour, and then I've seen him throw absolute fantastic on the European Tour. He had a great run in the Players' Championship recently. He's just not consistent enough for me, and especially when he's getting minus 300. I like him to win. I think he will win, but that's not something I want to risk in terms of a bet. So I'm going to take Kellen Ritz to win this one 6-3. Next game up is going to be one of my, again, parlays. It's Jim Williams against Robbie John Rodriguez. Jim Williams is the underdog. Jim Williams is one who's won on the tour. Again, on the European Tour, a little bit different. Robbie John, last weekend, just all the showmanship there. I hit a 180, I turn around, I make it look good. Was he trying, Jose de Sousa's not going to be affected by it. I get maybe doing this stuff. You do that to Adrian Lewis, well, hell will break loose and the gods will come down and there'll be a big old fight. But to do it to Jose de Sousa, you're not going to get nothing. You're not going to get anything. Jim Williams, he's not going to look at you and all of a sudden give you the gears. Jim Williams has a Players' Championship. Is a big 180 hitter. I look at the stats. Again, Robbie John on 180s is fantastic, but his doubles, this is where the difference is between these two players. So I'm going to take Jim Williams to win. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take Jim Williams to win 6-5, and he'll be part of one of my parlays. I'll get into that later. Next game up, Stephen Bunting against Kim Hybrix. Tough draw for both players. I am not, if anyone's watched my videos, I'm not a Kim Hybrix fan. I don't like his, he's a little oaf that acts like he's tough on stage. I don't get this thing where he's on stage, bud, a kid could stomp you. You're about as tough as, well, you're just not tough. I'm looking for the right analogy. He's just not enjoyable to watch. Roaring, and it's like, between him and Van Gerwen, that'd be a hell of a fight. Two of probably the biggest wimps I've ever seen in terms of body shape. Come on, please. Kim Hybrix is going to beat someone up? Please. It gets all tough. It's stupid. Bunting can get affected sometimes by it. You see it. And Bunting is just, he kind of reminds me of the Toronto Maple Leafs. His finishing is just terrible. He'll be up 3-0. Next thing you know, it'll be 4-3 for the other guy. And Bunting's got the better stats. It ain't even close. But his finishing's terrible. So I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to take Bunting to win this one 6-4. Want no part of it on my bets. Next one, Martin Clearmacher. I'm going to give Martin Clearmacher a big thank you, buddy, because he was able to beat Sebastian Belacki last week, and I hit a 4-team parlay because of it. So thank you, Martin. You're the man. And I like Martin Clearmacher's game. Again, Martin Clearmacher's stats, doubles are his issue. His scoring is fantastic. Doubles are his issue. Danny Jansen has won a Players' Championship. It's kind of crazy. And had a great European Tour. But then when he had a bad game, Inconsistent, young guy, Clearmacher, not playing his form. So I like Clearmacker. He'll be one of my in my 3-team parlay later on. Again, he's getting the odds. The odds are Clearmacker's the underdog. I'll take that, thanks. Because, I mean, they're pretty even players, don't get me wrong, but I would have suspected Danny Jansen would have been the underdog, but maybe because Danny Jansen's won a championship. The same thing with Jim Williams. Jim Williams was the underdog against Robbie John Rodriguez. I don't get it, but I'll take it. So I'll take that one. Next game up is I am all over this game like hot glue on a piece of paper. I don't know, like a fat kid on a Smartie. I'm all over it like the Toronto Maple Leafs on a first-round loss. I'm all over this game. Nathan Rafferty against Dragoven Horvit. Nathan Rafferty has had a disappointing year. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Dragoven Horvit had some of the worst stats I've seen on the European Tour since I've been taking it. I know it's in Germany. I get this. I know that Nathan Rafferty's young. I get this. The last time I saw European Tour, Nathan Rafferty had a really great game against Ricky Evans, and I think he played well enough to win it with just a couple missed doubles. Ricky Evans and Dragoven Horvit aren't the same player. Horvit, so I'm thinking, okay, minus 200? No. Nathan Rafferty is minus 125. I will take this, run to the bank, and hit it. Minus 125? Please. I'll take Nathan Rafferty for 100, Alex. Well, I'm not going to spend $100, don't get me wrong here, but that is one of my other parlays. I'm going to team him up with Ryan Miko on a parlay, which pays fantastic, but minus 125? Craziness. And then we got Luke Woodhouse, Adrian Lewis. Let me be honest with you. I'm sick of Adrian Lewis. The guy's a baby. He's a pansy. Question to ask everyone. When crap happens, it's one of 3 players that are on the stage. It could be other players they're playing against, but it's one of 3 players. It's either Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson, or Gerwin Price. What do they all have in common? They're babies. Now, Gerwin Price is tough as nails. I give it Gary Anderson with the Scotch. He's probably tough as nails. Adrian Lewis? Another joke. I mean, it's a clown show. And when I go into the numbers for Adrian Lewis, he has about as much chance of getting in the top 16 as I do. Matter of fact, Adrian Lewis is going to struggle to qualify for stuff here. He needs wins, or he won't be in major tournaments. He's going to be in the Players' Championship. There's no doubt about that. But he's not going anywhere. His game is not improved. I keep seeing the great science from Adrian Lewis. I've been hearing that for the last 2 goddamn years. Adrian Lewis, okay, he beat Gerwin Price, and then he showed up and laid an egg in the next round. An egg! I still think he has enough to get by Luke Woodhouse. I look at the stats. I think Adrian Lewis is the better player, so I'm going to take him to win this 1-6-4, but just terrible. Like Adrian Lewis, 2-time world championship, acting like this. It's a joke. Anyways, next game up, Gabriel Clemens against Johan Engstrom. Johan Engstrom had a really great game against Ricky Evans, and Ricky Evans just hit some really, really great numbers to win. And the way Clemens has been playing, Clemens is one of those ones that you'll see in my video. I know where he is right now. He's in the top 32, but I don't suspect he's going to be there for much longer. I think he's going the wrong way. He'll be the German number 2 by the end of the year, if you ask me, but we'll get into that video at a different time. It's home. It is Germany. The player who wins this gets Peter Wright, who can't win on the European Tour for the last 4 weeks. But so you gotta think if you get through this, you got a shot to get into the 3rd round. I just think Gabriel Clemens will win this. Although I wouldn't be shocked. Johan Engstrom is getting plus 350. That's pretty good odds. I just think Clemens will win it. That's the issue. So I'm going to take this 1-6-3, and the next game up I think is Danny Knopper. One of those ones that's kind of shocking on the stats, but he's got some really, really. If I go through what Danny's again, now granted he hasn't played as many games as everyone else, but over 40% on the doubles. He won every 3 legs. He has a 180. Basically nearly every leg he's either got a 180 or 140. I mean, his stats are fantastic. And then if I look at Sedlacek, I mean, he's played well. It's not horrible, but he's under 40% on the doubles. He gets a 180 one every 5 legs, basically, and, you know, his 8 out of 10 legs, he gets at least a 140 or 180. So I'm just going to go with the better score on this one, Danny Knopper to win 6-3. Again, here's going to be my parlay. So let me go to my parlays here, and I'll give you what the odds are. So the first parlay I've got is a 2-team parlay. I'm taking Ryan Meikle at -110 and Nathan Rafferty at -125. Like, please, Nathan Rafferty, if I'm getting greedy here, I'll be honest with you, I really should be just taking the -125 and putting a lot of money on it, because I really do like that game. Now watch Horvit or Dragoven Horvit will all of a sudden show up and have a great game and Rafferty a full. But so with that 2-team parlay, I'm getting back 2.4 times my money. So basically, I'll share with you, I'm risking 10 to get 34. I'll take that. And then the next one, I've got a 3-team parlay, and this is paying 8 times my, or sorry, more than that. Well, 8.5 times my money. 8.5 times my bet. I'm taking Neil Zahneveld to beat Matter's Rasma. That's probably the riskiest of them all. That's first game up, or first game of the parlay. So if that hits, they also have the cash out. I don't know what you play on, but sometimes I've been able to cash out when I can see what's happening with the game. Either give you the option of cash out. I've done that to some success as well. So if I get that game, that might be something I'll be looking at. And then Jim Williams over Robbie John Rodriguez. Again, I think I'm getting the better player. I'm getting 3 of who I think are the better players, and they're the underdogs. And Martin Clearmacher over Danny Jansen. So again, Neil Zahneveld, Jim Williams, and Martin Clearmacher, 3-team parlay, paying 8.5 times my wager. And those are my bets. Those are my predictions. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be heading up to my trailer tomorrow, so you'll see a different scenery other than the Toronto Maple Leafs and the 1967 nonsense behind me. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you know, take a look at the odds. Again, there's some really good ones there that I'm maybe being a little bit of a chicken on, especially the Lucas Venig. I like him. There's a couple other ones that they're there, but again, those are the bets I'm going to take. Let's see how I do. Talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.